the Right to Information Commission, or the RTIC, has ruled Sri Lankan Airlines top management salaries should be released to the Airline Pilots Guild of Sri Lanka.
The Sunday Times reported the Commission has ordered the national carrier to disclose the cost of flying training met by the company on behalf of its former Chief Executive Officer Suren Ratwatta. Newsfirst also requested the salary particulars of the top management of Sri Lankan Airlines, taking into consideration the national importance of such details. Sri Lankan Airlines responded, claiming that the institution does not give consent to disclose any of the requested information. The information officer at Sri Lankan refused to provide information on the grounds that such information was exempted from being granted under Section 5 of the Right to Information Act. If the top management had nothing to conceal, they could have released these details to the general public. Presently, the Commission has also called for the release of all agreements entered into for the wet lease of its A330 aircraft to Pakistan International Airline, and it directed the divulging of information related to the rental of several A350 Airbuses from AirCap and subsequent cancellation of those leases as the matter is concluded. Newsfirst on several occasions reported on the mismanagement and the ad hoc decision-making of the top management of the national carrier when leasing aircraft to Pakistan International Airlines last year. The newspaper reports Sri Lankan had cited confidentiality clauses with Pakistan International Airlines and AirCap to block the release of those agreements. The RTIC order, however, was that a confidentiality clause by itself could not prevent the disclosure of information after the contract or agreement had been awarded and where the accountability of public funds and the transparency of the public authority are in issue. Sri Lankan Airlines was instructed to report back to the Commission by the 3rd of July with regard to the status of adherence to the order. Meanwhile, citing information obtained by the way of an RTI application to the Ministry of Finance, the Sunday Times reported that Sri Lanka has obtained loans from China amounting to more than 1,029 billion rupees or $8.2 billion in the period of 2005 to 2017. The loans have been taken from the China Development Bank Corporation and the Exim Bank of China and have been for major projects such as highways, power plants, water supply and sewage schemes. As trade union representatives, we have a national responsibility to look into actions where the money of the people of this country are being wasted. The people's money is being spent to cancel lease agreements. The chief officers go on retirement and their pension is paid using public money. They pay salaries to these people in millions using the money that belongs to the people. That is why we say that the information that has been requested has to be released, taking into consideration the people of the country. The information has to be provided to the trade unions who have a national responsibility to look into these matters.